part is basically, like I was saying earlier, is the sanctification part is my favorite part. And the reason it's my favorite part is because I believe as we are joined together, it's really helping me grow. For example, I don't have time. I'm very patient. Let me put it this way. I'm very patient. She's not too patient. You get what I'm saying? So now
putting her business out there.
Nobody's asking me tonight.
You said I'm not patient. Bro, learn today.
Cut.
I'm sorry, bro. That part is staying there. Highlights. Go ahead, man. So you said she's not patient. I'm not doing it. Welcome to the African Wise Food Podcast. I'm Kendi.
I'm Dimo. I'm feeling top 5.
And I'm DK. I'm the best among the rest.
Amen. Today we are blessed. Yeah, we are blessed with two great people. A married couple. See, we are gonna talk about marriage, and so we decided to get it right from the source. People who actually experienced it. Those who are blessed. Yeah. And the family, became a family. Oh, look at that. We got to. I'm not gonna waste no time, and Daniel, I would like you to just give them a little intro if you want to.
Yeah, sure. Right. Today we are gonna be recording a podcast with Kwame and Jackie.
Yeah. Mr. and Mrs. Marfo.
I call Kwame Apostle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apostle Kwame.
Apostle Kwame. Yeah, that's my apostle right there.
You need to take a prayer.
Also for Mommy.
Oh, okay. Apostle and also for Mommy.
Yeah. I met them. Actually, I met Jackie like a long time ago. Like from church, like 2014.
So you do a lot of
Really?
You do a lot of church stuff, right?
Not a lot. So I met Jackie, and then I've been known Jackie since then, and then I met her at VCU. I didn't even know she was going to VCU then. True. It was my last semester. I was doing something, trying to pay some fees. Yeah. And I heard someone call my name. I was like, Jackie. Like, But she was going to VCU for like a year or so, but I never met her.
Nobody.
Yeah.
That's good too. You came here for a mission.
Yes.
And you met Kwame in Curative.
Yes. Funny thing is, so Jackie came to church. She came to my church one time. So then I talked to her about working at Curative. Yeah. So then I sent her the link to apply. True. So I think she sent the link to Kwame as well. So they both applied. True. Yeah. And she didn't like the position she got, so she didn't take the job.
Bye.
Exactly. So she didn't take the job. But Kwame took the job. At that time, I didn't know. So there was one Friday I was at work. I was about to leave, and then this gentleman walked in. So then, I was just being nice, trying to help him out, show him everything.
He didn't even know.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know there was a connection anyway.
See, that speaks to your character, though. But go ahead. Man.
And so then, while I was helping him, I was about to leave, and he was like, "Oh, you Daniel? Do you know Jackie?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "That's my girlfriend." I was like,
"Oh." So you're like, Yeah. Imagine if you're bad, if you did something bad.
If I did something bad to Kwame, come down, come back.
It's about to go down.
Remember Jackie? Yes.
That's your friend from church. I think you're not going to your church no more.
Yeah. So it was a small world, and since then, Kwame and I have been brothers. It was great. I was privileged to be part of his wedding.
Yeah. The one where everyone had their warmth under their chin.
You don't have any. Oh, by the way, I just want to say this. I got you beard oil.
I think our audience can bear witness to see if it actually helps.
I will edit that whole part. Don't shame me on this podcast. So you said you had an icebreaker, yeah?
Yeah. So an icebreaker is pretty much simple. Yeah. What is your dream car and why? So yeah, we could start with you there.
Let's have a guest. I have to think.
Okay. Alright, dream car and why?
My dream car.
It's a G-Wagon.
I couldn't remember. But yeah, my dream car is G-Wagon. I've always wanted a G-Wagon. I don't know why. It's very classy, very,
Have you ever been in one before?
I've not been in one before, surprisingly. I can't wait to get in one. But G-Wagon is like my favorite.
I'm just saying, you guys notice how the wifey knew the.
Yeah, she knew about
She
it.
knew the name.
That's how I know they
She
did.
asked Sarah what he thought.
Now let's ask him whether he knows.
You know, okay.
She already has a dream car. Oh,
Dance, is that your dream car?
Mercedes.
Mercedes.
Be
Okay.
specific. Which brand?
Don't
I
do that.
didn't care.
Hey, what's up?
I know. Mercedes.
As long as the Mercedes also Mercedes school bus, you good. Mercedes whatever.
It's
Like,
Mercedes.
okay.
Sorry, man.
I saw it, man. Hey, that's gonna be great because of mommy, you know she be bringing. Yeah. How about you?
Mine would be an Audi, the A7.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's really nice,
that's dope.
classy.
How about you, brother?
Me?
Yeah,
The
man.
Rolls Royce.
Hey.
Okay.
Phantom, yeah, Phantom
Ah,
Rolls Royce.
I didn't expect that from you.
Really?
Nah.
Wait, why?
You too, right? I
I
know.
expect Rolls Royce.
Wait, why? I've always wanted a Rolls Royce, man.
Even in your dreams, it doesn't look good.
Wow.
Hey, he started the beard oil. Hey,
No,
I
I actually got you a beard oil. I'm actually serious. I did it. Like, I
why
want you a
though?
beard oil though.
They ask him why.
Come on, man.
He's trying to help you out.
Why does he have him up?
I'm good.
Nah, how about you? What's your dream car?
Honestly, like I said, Hyundai Sonata 2013, man. Like, I like the design. I know.
The 2013 one.
Yeah, the 2013 one. I'm very like that.
No, I'm saying your dream car.
Yeah, I just told you. That's
Bro,
my
we're not
dream
talking
car.
about nightmare car, dream car.
Now you to my dream car, you insult and say it's nice.
That was great. That was great, man. You appreciate it.
No.
2013, that's 10 years ago, man. A whole decade.
Tells you I have a dream,
That's the
man.
guy's dreams car.
Everyone has a dream. It's a very long-lasting dream.
I thought you were interesting, like you keep on.
Nah, I know me. That's how I am, man.
Yeah.
All right. So enough of this ice break. Let's get into it. Today we are talking about a very strange concept. Well, strange to me. All right. We're talking about a concept where a stranger meets another stranger, and they say they get to know each other, but not well enough to know a human being, because you can never truly know somebody, but well enough to know don't kill you in your sleep. And then you say to them, "Hey, how would you like to come live with me forever?" And they say those 3 words. Yes, I do. Well, do listen to this podcast. Do watch this as we dissect the concept of marriage here.
Was that a poem or that was?
That was rehearsed. It was rehearsed in the car.
That's
Now,
not moving quiet in the
I hope that by the end of this episode, you either be motivated enough to marry, or well, we shall see. On this episode of African Wise Podcast, we have Mr. and Mrs. Marfo. Thank you all so much.
Thank you guys.
We appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah,
Thank you.
to have us
Thank
here.
you.
Inviting us over.
Do you want to start first, brother?
Yeah,
I just realized I can't find my phone. Oh, there it is.
I mean, let's start from like the general thing. What like Mr. Marfo, you were living your life, enjoying your life somewhere, you know. How did this get to be? How did y'all just?
Man, first of all, I'll just say it's God. I thank God for meeting Jackie. But how it came to be, I remember there was a time my cousin was having a graduation party, and it was at Virginia, and I didn't want to go, but my mom was there. My mom is a very family-based person, so she called me out. She was like, "Kwame, you have to come. There's a lot of food. Come and take some of the food and take me home, because I can't carry all the food home." Some stuff like that. So I was like, I don't feel like coming. But for some reason, she kept pressuring me. And then so finally I went with some of my friends, and we went there. And then when I got there, I saw Jackie, but I saw her dancing, right? But she was also busy helping people out, doing all kinds of stuff. And one thing I've always said, that I wanted a woman that was like my auntie. My auntie is someone who was very, very helpful. When she gets out, when you see her, you see she's very friendly. She goes to parties, she helps people out, all that kind of. So when I saw her, she reminded me of my auntie. I was like, man, I need to find out.
Yeah, you're like, I gotta take it home. So not just the food, Now
No,
you
no,
got
no.
a different food. Okay.
Agenda.
I need to find out who this girl really is.
Yeah.
So literally, that's how it started.
Your story's
I mean,
gonna empower these African moms into change. That's why I tell you, you do what I say, you do. Just I have to do what I say, man. Wow, that's a very nice story, bro.
Yeah. So that's.
So you just walked up to her and started,
So I mean, I don't know how she's going to explain it, but the thing
Just
was,
say your
Yeah,
part.
I say
Yeah,
your part.
It's never the same. It's never the same.
So I told my cousin. My cousin was helping me out, trying to approach her. So my cousin spoke to her and told her, "Oh, I have my cousin wants to talk to you. So please talk to him. Don't just leave." She didn't want to talk to me. She was ready to go when my cousin spoke to her about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know what touched her. Apparently,
Say your truth, bro.
because she was saying she didn't want to disgrace me
Oh.
in front of everybody. Because it was literally like in front of everyone.
Oh,
When I approached her,
Right.
she was like, "Well, I didn't want to disgrace you. That's why I kind of listened to you." And because even my phone I was using at the time, then it was like
It was like a Nokia.
iPhone 6.
Oh, iPhone 6.
iPhone
Wow.
6 at that time. She was also now feeling
That was
iPhone
so-
6.
I think he was noticing some stuff.
So yeah, from there we chatted and then took her number and then it went from there.
You did your work.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Wow. I like that. I like that.
Let's hear her part.
No. Yeah.
His part was
I'm
that
gonna
the
ask
lady
this
was,
question.
was scamming. No, what he say?
Now I'm gonna ask her like, how are you found?
How are you?
How are you judged? How are you found?
So point of correction for him. It's
Okay.
his niece.
Oh,
It's
his
his niece's
I call her my cousin.
graduation
I always call her my cousin.
party,
Okay.
and I went to school with her. And of course, I had to go and help, and I was helping out. And then she approaches me and it's like, "Hey, like one of my uncle cousins are here, and he has like friends that are athletes, and that's what she's into.
Right.
So like, I want to talk to his friend.
Right.
So can you talk to him so I can talk to his friend?" I was like, "No, that's weird. I'm not doing that." So she goes,
so
and I
she was
guess she's
using
talking
you
So
for
she
her
used
own
it as a
line.
point of contact.
The headline work though? Of course it didn't.
Recognize my work.
But yeah, so I was just like, "No, that's not happening. Let it go." I guess she went back to him, talked to him about it. He's like, "No, I really want to talk to that girl, so get her to me." And she comes back like 3 times. I'm like, "No, I'm not doing it."
Right.
So third time, I'm like, "I gotta get out of here before this guy approaches me." So I grabbed some drinks, I grabbed my bag, and I'm walking. And all my friends from school knew about the situation because she kept on bugging me about it. So as I grabbed my bag and I started walking away, he starts approaching me. And I'm like, "Oh, dang." And the guys all know, the girls all know, so everybody's like,
Like, what you gonna
Yo,
do?
that's a bold move right there. That's bold.
That's how it is.
I'm like, "Yo."
Hey, if you're a man watching, man, you need to be bold.
Nah, that's true. Walk straight to them, even if it's an iPhone 6, whatever. Walk straight to them. Yeah.
Even if it's an
With your
Android.
chest out.
But yeah, everyone was watching, so I was like, I can't embarrass this guy. So I just took it. And
That
I
makes
was
more
like,
sense because before his story though. I was like, "Damn, bro."
it was all straightforward. No, it wasn't.
Sorry, I always gotta get 2 sides of
Yeah.
the story. Wait. I'm quite sure you've probably heard his side of the story. Though. Why didn't you include that in yours? Like, be like, okay, let me give you some
Nah,
context.
that's his perspective.
I that's true.
That's my own.
That's how
her
it is.
story.
That's his
That's
story.
her story.
Wow, man, you got another one?
No, but my question is this: why were you running away? Like, what was wrong with the guy approaching you? Because I know
that's
a lot of women want to be married. They want to be married, but it's like they don't want anybody to talk to them. Because
Listen, you going
don't
in,
approach
Charlie?
me.
That's a question. That's a good
Yeah, that's a good question. I want to know.
Well, I think at that point in my life, I think all my life I've been approached a lot. And I just really just wanted a season of singleness, a season of me spoiling me, because I'm a giver, I'm a lover. Once I get you, I will pamper you. So I really just wanted a season of me. And a man approaching me at that time, like, "You're trying to take that away from me. I don't want to talk to nobody." Because I'm going to have to be putting energy into you. If I'm texting you, that's energy I could be putting into myself. So I was like, that's the season that I was in.
So
where I
you were
was,
in a
focused
season-
on God, and it was just me and God. I was dating God at that point.
Yeah.
So you were not.
That's what they always say, man.
So you were not looking.
I was not looking. No.
Also, you were not looking.
Nope.
But when he came, you collected it.
I did not.
That's true. That's so cool.
Hey, no, this is a story. This is a testimony, man.
It's a very important story.
She's not speaking for all the African girls out there, man. Why y'all doing this? Let's help her.
But we are just saying because some people some guys will be thinking maybe the girl is saying that she's not looking
she's
right
not
now,
ready.
so then they'll take a step back.
Yeah, and then
Right.
they won't say anything.
It doesn't sound like.
You're telling the story how you came to come here. yeah, man. You're telling your story.
So excited. Very excited.
Yeah, but to continue, so you were in that season, and then you decided to now let me. Did it become that, or because it sounded like he was sure. He was sure about you. Wait, was there ever a time when you weren't sure, or you're like?
Yeah. Going into it, I didn't want him, and he knew that. I didn't
You're
want
married,
that.
bro. You can't be like her.
Where it goes. I didn't see him as someone I wanted to marry. It wasn't there. Like the season I was in, I was just so close on like. iPhone 6 definitely played a part. In my head, what I said was, "Not a broke man." Not a broke man. Oh God.
So you had a list. Did you have a list?
No.
You didn't have a list.
Never created a list.
But the only thing that you knew that you didn't want a broke man.
No, like.
You gotta have standards, though. I mean, you gotta have standards.
That's standards, right? But I didn't have a list
You didn't have a
written
list
down.
written
Yeah.
down. Okay.
That's very interesting, man. I'm actually. Wait, what question should I ask? Because
I want to ask Kwame. Kwame, what did you see that day? That like besides her 7 and stuff, like what else did you see that day that was like, if I don't talk to her today, I'm not leaving?
So, I mean, like I said, the reason I actually approached was because you reminded me of my auntie.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I always wanted to marry someone who's like my auntie. So I saw that in her. The first time I saw her, I was like, she reminds me so much of my auntie.
My auntie's in her.
Yes, so I need to approach this girl.
So,
Yeah, so that
30
was-
minutes, you could see that she's like your auntie.
hi.
Yeah, you know your auntie.
I lived with her for a long time.
Okay.
I lived with her for a long
That's
time.
a man who knows what he wants.
Nah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So in your head, you were like, this is it for me.
Yeah, so I mean, in my head, I was like, this is it. Let's rewind it. In my head, I was like, okay, he reminds me of my auntie, but at the same time, I was not like, I'm gonna marry you right now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like, okay, let me get to know you. Let's see where it goes.
Yeah, it's coming.
But my wife here is not ready for. Let me see where it goes.
Yeah.
She was a very serious. If we're going to go there, then we are going there. Like if it's going to be marriage, it's marriage. Let's do it.
That's actually what I wanted to ask about. Like you initially, you were like, all right, let me just get to know you. You're not really thinking of marriage and stuff.
I was not really.
So at what point do you switch from that? Like, okay, this is what I want to do, even if she doesn't know your full intentions.
So the switch happened when I realized how, first of all, it was God's vision that He gave to her that she told me. That kind of gave me kind of like a green light. But I would say like green, yellow light, because when God speaks to someone, God will speak to me.
God speak to me.
Yeah, so I'm like,
That's what he said.
Because an angel has also appeared to Joseph to tell him, yo, man, you can take that.
Exactly.
you understand what I'm saying?
Prophet Derek.
Yeah, man. I prepared to you. Hallelujah. You didn't hear the intro? Alright, go ahead, brother. My bad.
No, but yeah, God, she married me. You understand? I was like, okay, God has shown you this.
Yeah.
God needs also show it to me. I'm not about to just be like, oh wow, okay, then let's get married.
Right.
So for some time, I was struggling with wanting to hear the voice of God, wanting to see, get that that notification, that clarification in my mind, like, okay, this is the one for me. So it took some time. It was difficult.
Wow.
So, but it got to a point where I realized that everything that God told her was happening. Literally, like in my life, my life went from 0 to, let's say, shoot up to,
Hero.
let's say, you get what I'm saying, from 0 to hero, literally. And I mean, to people watching, literally, that's why God says it's not good for a man to be alone. Because if you find a woman that is for you,
Favor.
oh my goodness, it's like
Favor.
yeah, the trajectory of your life just shit to a different level. That was kind of like a sign for me that, you know what, this is the one. This is the one for me.
Wow.
This is the one for me. Yeah.
And ever since then, there's been no doubt or anything like that has been.
No doubt. I've not regretted one bit marriage.
That's amazing.
Yes. Never.
Hey, Jackie, how did you feel when you had that vision or when you got that vision?
I
Did you tell him right
struggled.
away?
No, it took a while
I
because
had to pull it out of her. Pull it out of her.
mind you, I didn't see myself marrying him. I was just like, oh, it's just this cute guy that I'm talking to, whatever,
Hey,
just hanging out.
cute.
That's an
I
upgrade.
just couldn't picture myself marrying him. So I was like, I don't see it happening. So I was even, when I came back from Ghana, I was even like, kind of like pushing myself away from him just so I can like kind of, let's cut this out type of thing. Exactly. But then like I had that vision. I was like, oh God, like what's going on? Is this really happening? What do I do? If I tell him, is he gonna feel like, oh, I have to marry her because she told me this? Is that the reason why he's gonna marry me? So I struggled with that and battled it with myself. But eventually I told him, I was just like, listen, if you want to go ask God that he should show you to, that's fine. But you know, this is what God showed me. So yeah.
So how long was the dating period, and like what are the challenges that the both of you faced as you were
dating? I think dating took like 2 years to date. Yeah, we dated for about 2 years.
In those 2 years, what kind of questions would you normally ask someone to be able to make sure that, okay, like, this is the person right here?
Okay, so during the dating period, one thing that I really thank God for that we did was we communicated a lot. We talked about literally everything. Like,
you didn't hold anything back?
Nothing back. The girls I messed up with, you know, some of the men he messed up with. We talked about finances, we talked about children, we talked about home, we talked about
how do you
even the religion itself.
Yeah, how do you bring it? Because that's certain things that like people hold as these are things I'll take to the grave kind of conversations.
It is.
How do you get it said and done?
I believe if she's the one for you, you really you know what you want, and this is you want to get into marriage. You should not settle for anyone who tells you like, oh, I'm not willing to talk about this.
Okay.
Like there's a conversation that has to be had.
Yeah.
So that you
because
know
you're thinking of the long term.
Exactly. Thinking of the long term. Because for example, you marry someone, he's like, oh, I believe in God. Okay, what is your beliefs in salvation? What is your doctrine in salvation? These conversations we don't have. Until you get married and the person will tell you, oh, I believe in Holy Mary, or I believe in that it goes left and right. You get what I'm saying? So like these conversations has to be had. And if the person is not willing to have the conversation, that is a red flag. Yeah, so
that's
this
interesting.
yes,
in hardship.
exactly.
So, like, okay, so we bring it up, hey, let's talk about it. They're like, okay, right now I don't want to talk about it. Do you think that you should keep on asking until they reveal it? Like, okay, I asked the first time, you don't want to talk about it. This is it. That kind of
No. I think you should give her or he some time. Because it's not easy for people to just come out and tell you, oh, I messed up with this, or I did this, I did that. It takes some time.
Yeah, I was thinking of a Ghanaian man, you're raised as a Ghanaian man. I was thinking that Ghanaian men have a very, it's very difficult for them to reveal certain things about themselves.
Yeah.
Did you ever have such issues when you were talking about your past, or was it like just easy for you to just spill all the beans and stuff?
To be honest, it was very easy. The reason it was easy was because one, God has already told her that we are going to get married.
Right.
I had that faith that if God has spoken it to her,
if she
does not want to do it, she has to face God herself.
Like it's not my problem.
It's not my problem anymore.
Quick question. Not to interrupt where we are, but like, how long into like talking or dating did God reveal that to you?
I think it was
1 year, 2 years.
1 year.
1 year.
Yeah.
That's when you were at GSK.
I was at GSK.
One year I was like, yeah, you like him, right? Yeah. I got plans for you. Yeah.
He's cute, right?
When he revealed all these things to you, like, did you feel like maybe I saw the vision wrong or something like that? How did you feel when you heard of this?
No,
I'm not intruding.
At that point, I had come to terms with what God had revealed to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a season of me learning how to trust God. So if he's revealed this to me and I trust him and I say that I'm a child of God, whatever he's done or he's been through, I'm sure I've done worse.
Right.
So I didn't hesitate at all because we all have a past, you know?
One thing that with me, I find difficult that I'm still learning how to is being able to let down that wall good enough so that my partner will be able to know everything about me. I'm trying to ask, like, what is there a certain kind of steps that you take? Or like you said, you have full faith this is a person, so you don't care, you just let it go. But I'm asking, was there something else that helped you to be able to just let down those walls completely?
It was easy for me to let it down easily because before all this even started, I was building my relationship with Christ, right? So my intimacy, my relationship with Christ was getting there. Yes. So with that, I was so free to just speak.
Yeah.
I was not afraid of my past because I know.
Let go for Christ's sake.
Exactly. Like I know what I've done. I plead for mercy. God has forgiven me. Now it might be hard for her to let go of those things, but I can't keep it in. And also, if I was to keep it in, and let's say we get into marriage and something is to happen. For example, one girl during the marriage will just come up, oh, I know, you know when they have the wedding, they tell you,
I knew you last week. But they think it's on IG.
He told me he was going to marry me.
Damn, that's wild.
I have the screenshots. I think
I'll be very mad at whoever does that to you because imagine you travel that far.
Oh,
you bring the gifts.
And the right price.
I know. And then they bring come on, man.
It happens.
But yeah, it does happen. I didn't want that situation, so I wanted to be I also wanted to be very honest with her. Very truthful to her. So I didn't want to keep anything behind. So I told her everything. Even nowadays, sometimes I forget some of them. So nowadays, guys be like, oh, one time you
I forgot that. Let me remind the CD.
She's like, you told me already.
On our way, I was telling there was this one person who revealed a certain information that when he was dating this one lady back before they were married, that he used to travel like long distance before he met this woman. I mean, to see this woman and stuff. And now that he's married, he's no longer like meeting that woman. He's just a different woman. Now that he's married, his Karen's wife always uses that information on him against him whenever he wants her. I mean, whenever she wants him to do something for her, like. Let's say, please go to like DC for me. He said, nah, I'm too tired. He's like, oh, but you do that for her. Is that him revealing all these things to you? Has there been a point where you, like, I'm asking, if you don't have to answer, you don't want to, but has there been a point where you've ever used information that he revealed to you? Like,
or vice versa.
Like, you get what I mean?
I don't think I've ever used it against him, but what I've done before is, I guess during the very fresh season when he was revealing all these things, I'm like, and I guess one of the girls texted him.
Right.
And yeah, while we're out.
Drama, baby. Hi, bro. I feel like, you think you work in
They always text at that time, man.
It was a quick hey, and I was like, I remember the name because he's told me so much about the girl.
Yeah.
What did I
So
tell you?
I just look at him, I'm like, is that the girl? And he's like, you can tell he's sweating bullets. And
perfect me for this.
maybe she just wants shit up for my mom. Just all you told me.
She's still wait, that's what you said? She wants shit up for your mom?
Yeah.
Yo, guys, you so bad at it. Yo, no, don't lie, bro. Guys give the word. Oh, Come on.
No, but you never know. Maybe she wanted shit on.
The truth is, she actually wanted shit on.
No way.
Mommy shit on. Mommy shit on. There's two sides to every story, so we're gonna have to ask this one. So my question to you, like, I do not know if it's the same for women. Is it easy for women to bring down their walls and expose certain things?
Especially for independent, I should say, women.
Yeah.
Women that like kind of have their things together, kind of do their things on their own.
Right.
I don't need a man type of woman. No, it's not easy for us. So it was very difficult when he was being open. I'm very like guarded. But I had to realize that it wasn't going to help what we're building if he's being open and I'm being closed.
Yeah.
Like I'm holding secrets, and if he goes out and hears something about me, how is he going? Exactly. It's gonna backfire on the relationship. So I had to realize that if I truly wanted this thing to work, then I had to like tear down the wall. Although I did it on my he gave me time to do it on my own and take it step by step, which is very important. You don't rush that process. But he gave me that time to do it, and it was necessary. I didn't have a choice if I wanted it to work.
Step by step.
Well, I think that's the key. The patience, having patience for a partner to be able to bring down. Because I believe that some people just want that information immediately, or even when you're taking your time, something will come and then it's time during the entire
the whole thing.
I know you got one, brother.
No, but I mean, just to add to that, I feel like it's also a matter of where you're going than where you coming from. You know, because you said that it's like it's not helping what we're trying to build. So if that's where I'm going, then I need to make sure I'm working on where I'm going, not trying to work on where I'm from. So I think it's very interesting.
With me, like I was saying before, I'm still. I mean, I think I'm doing much better than I was before. She can attest to that. And before now, my only thing was that I worry that you will use what I'm giving you against me, or you just go spill it somewhere else. So that was the reason why I always had my guard up. And so it took me a good 4 years before being like, okay, I know that's a long time.
That's a long time.
Very paranoid.
Maybe sometime. 10 years for one secret.
No cap. I was doing that every 3 or 4 months. I'll be like, let me tell you something. But I mean, I do hope that for people, paranoid people like me, if you ever to meet someone like that, you give them patience and time to, It does take a lot of time for who are guarded up and all those kinds of things.
I also think it's also very important to create an environment where it's safe for people to share certain things about themselves. Because if the environment is not safe, especially the woman, she's not gonna talk about these things because the woman want to know that you are gonna be able to stick by them no matter what after they've shared that with you or they've been vulnerable with you. So, and men too as well. Because
I found that. No, go ahead.
And men too as well. They also want to be vulnerable at some point, but sometimes they don't create that safe space for you to be vulnerable. Because like you were saying, you're scared that they're going to use it against you. Because if you don't have someone that's forgiving or someone that is wise enough to understand that that's your past and you're moving away from that, they're always going to be looking at you like,
I saw this one.
Sorry for cutting you, but let's also understand that before you let out those things, this is the woman you want to get married to.
You
can't just go to that.
Man. Because if the relationship is to break up and
Maria knows,
she's going to share.
Like that, bro.
No, because I saw this one lady post where she was just revealing certain things about her ex, and I was like, I'm pretty sure these things were kind of like sensitive things that he kept to you because he thought he was going somewhere, and then that's the one thing back. Right?
So just to kind of pinpoint on that, if there is not an inner conviction of marriage or commitment towards marriage, then you're saying be sure not to reveal certain things because it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Then why stay in the relationship if there's no inner conviction that this is gonna go?
That's also a good question because there's no point of. What's the point of the relationship if you know this is not the wife?
Exactly.
Say that all the time.
See what I'm saying? What's the point of wasting time with one person when you know you're not
going to marry? What's the point?
And the truth is, let's be honest, guys. When we meet the one we know, let's be honest. We can tell. Like
sometimes you meet them a little too early.
Yes.
it too. I'm playing around.
Saying that his stories to tell is too short. He wanted a story. Obia X is
I thank God every day.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing, but I catch you up, man.
No, but yeah, seriously. I kind of forgot what I was saying.
I'm so sorry. No, you're basically saying that you have to make sure this person is the right. Like, why spend that much time in a relationship if you don't know?
Yes, like literally, why waste your time with one person when you know she's not the one for you, and you're not gonna marry the person? Like, it's literally a waste of time. To be honest, it's real. If I was to look back at my life and the amount of time I wasted with other women, is very horrible. You feel so like, why did I even do all those things? You understand what I'm saying?
In the moment you thought it was right, though.
The moment you thought it was right.
You thought it was right.
The moment you're like,
but you also had an inner thing that was telling you like,
this man.
And you're like, let me just try and see.
But you also know that.
I'm speaking correctly.
But you also know that this girl, I'm not gonna marry. It's like I always knew, like when I was, talking to this girl, what they said, I'm like, nah, this is not the one.
Like I don't want to marry her yet. Maybe something changes.
It could be something might change.
Maybe she will change.
Is that that thing that where people? I've heard someone say that you meet the right person but at the wrong time. Is that a thing that you all believing to be a thing, or is it that person who's saying it themselves are the ones who are not really like ready to for long-term relationship?
I feel like you're not ready. I feel like you're not ready. If you know when you are ready to get married. I mean, if we're going to look at the physical things, you will never be ready. Because then you want to have a house, have money, have a job, all these things.
Get rid of iPhone 6.
You understand? Get rid of iPhone 6. You understand? Maybe get a new iPhone.
Hey, stop that. I'll come to you soon. Go ahead, bro.
But yeah.
Do you also feel that way too?
Yeah, and especially the pressures of this generation when it comes to
marriage,
the type of wedding, bridal shower, all these things to prep even for the wedding. It's like the pressure is big, so you feel like you have to like prep, save money.
You made it look very easy, man.
The pressure is getting
Nah, bro.
It wasn't easy.
It wasn't
not
easy.
at all.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just between the two of you. So what exactly is making it difficult?
I mean, preparation wasn't easy, but by the grace of God, it was easy. I don't know if that makes sense, but literally, God literally brought people into our life to literally help out. Like even we look at the wedding we had, the Lysos and Master Plan. Those are like huge people, and they know her because she used to work with them. Right. So right there is like.
I still work with them.
You still work with them. But right there is like, that is favor right there because you had a relationship with them. Our wedding, if you look at it, it's worth a lot. But we didn't pay what it was worth.
Really?
Yeah.
Yo, that thing looks
Your service. Look at you. This is a woman of service, man. Y'all better start serving, man. You better start going to wedding and then packing them and trying them.
No, true though.
No,
it's true though.
You know what?
The things that you're doing to help people out.
Now I'm looking forward to my wedding because now the amount of chairs I've done right now. The amount of chairs
They all must come at home.
But it was the favorite.
What was the reason of marriage? Like, can I ask you, what was your reason of marriage? Like, why did you want to marry?
Not to sound very biblical,
Right.
but if I'm a
sound
child of
biblical.
God,
I love that.
then my
I love that.
reason is biblical because marriage is not good for man to be alone. We weren't
You
designed
saw he's like, it's not good.
Like, if you have that,
It's not good.
I need to upgrade it.
Do you also feel the same way too?
For me, like before, I was afraid to get married. Yeah, I was running from marriage. I was like,
Sounds like me.
I was like,
what exactly was the reason why you're afraid of marriage?
commitment.
Commitment. So you're gonna say, okay, the how some people it just looks very messy and all.
I mean that too, because you look at other people's marriage and you see the things that goes on. I mean, if my parents are watching, okay, forgive me, but you see your parents and the way they have their marriage, and you see how it is. You're like, so this is what marriage. I don't want it.
Right.
You understand? It doesn't give you that good light or that green light to be like, an example to be like, I want to get married. So me, I didn't want to get married. I was running from it. I was waiting till like maybe 34, 38 to be home. Then maybe
like, I don't want to be alone, so let me just
let me get someone and all that kind of stuff. But to be honest, marriage was made by God. It is a beautiful thing. And if it is made by God, and God said, no, man should not be alone. It's not good for a man to be alone. Then God said, it's not good for a man to be alone. It is actually something that is true. A man cannot be alone.
That's very true.
You understand what I'm saying? If you desire to get married,
that's very true.
You should get married. If that makes sense.
I hear you.
But it's something that God made, so why don't you want to do it? It's a beautiful thing God created. So when I came to that understanding of what marriage really is biblically, that kind of gave me the peace, like the green light to be like, man, I want to get married. It's a beautiful thing. Even though there are attacks from the enemy, because obviously God created it, so the enemy wants to destroy it. You understand it? But in that case, and still, it's like you want to be part of it because God created it. And if God created it, God is going to guide you.
Yeah, and coming from two backgrounds where our parents' relationship were completely different, I could tell when he came over to my house, he was very uncomfortable. Because my parents were holding hands, hugging, kissing, touching each other.
You do that?
Oh, yeah. My parents are...
What?
I'm playing mom and dad do that
too. Let's see the father-daughter dance. The father-daughter dance at the wedding.
Nah, we gotta go back and watch.
You gotta watch that video.
Put it in there.
Like, her dad is hit, man. Like, you think he's like one of he's an elder in the church? Man, this man be wearing Jordans. That's
how you do it.
Like, he's a cool dude. So like, I'm not surprised that she's seen that they were doing that.
So you think because the dad was more in touch with the younger generation kind of thing, because there was that, what do you think that was what helped with the marriage? Like, because in this younger generation, there's a lot of like, let's talk about it, like a lot of like, I want to hear what my wife has to say about this, as compared to the old generation where it's like, as the man, I make the rules, you go with that kind of thing. Do you think that was what helped your parents?
I don't think so, because their generation, they still have that kind of relationship where it's just like, oh, we're roommates type of situation. I don't know what helped them, but I guess they've built years of friendship where it's more than just, us being roommates. And they lived apart for many years. When I was born, my dad was here and she was there. So I think it also like took away from them living together for so long. So when we came here, I think it's like now they're really getting into their old age of, we've been together for a long time. So for a long time, I've seen my parents like being lovey-dovey. So it was very weird when he came and he's like, what are they doing? And when we would go out, I would hold his hand and he's like,
he's trying to I'm not a physical touch.
In front of everybody,
I'm not a physical touch. I'm a word of encouragement.
That was y'all moves. Shout out to all the lovey-dovey parents from there.
Go ahead.
But yeah, so that was hard for him. But as he came over, I would say it's okay. Like my parents won't be like, "Why are you touching my daughter? Don't touch my daughter." I mean, we wouldn't kiss in front of them or anything. Like it's okay for you.
I would don't touch it. What's wrong with you? You didn't pay the bride price.
I thought you said you ruined it. Like you just said it scared me a little bit.
This guy's boo.
I said I wouldn't let no gentleman touch my daughter.
Oh, okay.
After you've done the knocking, the person has brought money to your house and
Nah. Until you carry
you're
out.
Engaged.
Okay, all right. Now we've asked a lot of peaceful questions. I want to ask one troublesome one.
I actually have a question, bro. Okay. Like, let me ask you guys met, because I know we've been a bit away from that. You guys met, first date. Because let me say this. I want to talk about how, a first date, a nice place is like Texas Roadhouse. I thought the bread was good. Why not let's, like, we can go sit there and eat bread.
Roadhouse?
Bro, the girls were coming for me.
They're not down.
I mean, but you're not dating the girls though. You're dating your girl.
This was on a platform, right? Where I was the host, and so I was talking about that, the youth and pen up at the platform.
Yeah.
And then the girls were like, no, what with Chris? But I didn't know Ruth Chris. What I just gonna say, do you know Ruth Chris?
Who's that?
It's a restaurant. It's a
I can boldly say that I know Ruth Chris.
Do you know Texas?
I know Ruth Chris,
Do
man.
you know Texas de Brazil?
Yes.
No, you don't.
I've been there.
What do you say?
Fogo de Chão.
It's like Fogo de Chão.
Yeah.
Ruth Chris. I know Ruth Chris. You said it's Ruth Chris. First date. So what's you guys' opinion?
I
saw your face. I know.
I know from McDonald's.
No. That's Google. No. That's Google.
I'm going down like that.
McDonald's, your wife.
Okay, we're there. Tell me so I can get up on my knees. Tell me so I can get up on my
That would
knees.
even be better.
Panda Express.
We want to answer this question so bad.
Because I want to know. I want to get up on my knees, please.
I had some questions.
Say it.
But anyway, I took her to IHOP.
Wait, breakfast.
We went to IHOP.
No, but IHOP is fine.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I went to Chili's the first time.
Wow,
Chili's is better than
No,
IHOP.
come on, Chili's over IHOP.
I'll take
Chili's is way better than Vibe. What you mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah, come on, man. Chili's over IHOP.
Chili's and IHOP are the same way.
The burgers. The sausage.
IHOP is it, bro.
I'm telling you guys, man. Whoever
You know what you can do with $20
Trying to make it better.
Chili's way better.
Chili's is way better. I think
Chili's is not better.
For once, I agree with.
I used to.
You know what? We're gonna put a poll in this. We're gonna put a poll in this because Chili's or IHOP, man. Come on, man. You can't come for
Chili's
IHOP
any day. Alright, Chili's.
Chili's and IHOP are the same price range.
Yeah, first of
Oh.
all.
No, the price range.
The student swipes there, I understand. But that's what I use. I don't care.
It's just like,
I did.
Aw.
Yeah, I know. You see, that's cute, right?
You just watched that first.
And then I gave him a ride back home.
I know, free ride.
In a security car.
This guy was going to do with security. This dude slept throughout his entire job, man.
I gave you a ride.
I enjoyed that ride.
But really, IHOP. How did that make you feel?
Yeah, was
I
that
was off like,
Come on, what do you expect from my phone?
Maybe that's
Come
maybe that's why the vision took longer to come. It came for me though.
It was very early in the morning. It was the day after I met him. The day after I met him. The morning of.
This
He's
guy
like,
works quick, man.
yeah, he's like,
You know
I'm
what
coming
you
with my
want.
jet to come pick you up. I'm like, what?
Oh my goodness.
Come with my jet to take you to
Yo, he got raised. Hey, listen, the ending was poor, but the raise was good.
At least he sparked the curiosity. Wait. Was the jet worth it? Was the...
Oh, it was worth it.
It was worth
Of
it.
course.
We didn't even eat our food. We spent the whole time talking. So.
That's good.
I take it back. This is what I have to say.
Yeah, take your girls out.
Let me ask now one troublesome question.
Go ahead.
Like, I just want to know, like, we're in situations where, a chance where, let's say, and this is just a hypothetical situation. Now, let's say an opportunity comes where you make like bank a lot of money, like you make so much money that no one has to really work because, and do you think that you would stay in the house, or do you think that would be like, nah, man, you stay in the house and go make that. Let me be the breadwinner, because now she's the breadwinner because she makes that amount of money.
Right.
How would y'all be able to deal with a situation like that? Oh, this is
A lot of older older generations, and because of your experiences, I feel like you use your wisdom to coach the kids into the right direction, but not to coach them out of the direction they're going, you see? So yeah, kids became hard, and then what did you learn from it that you could have bettered yourself? So tell them, marriage is hard after 10 years, make sure you keep it going. Instead of it's hard after 10 years, you see.
Loki.
Yeah.
It
becomes like
Loki, they want it to fail too. Because
that's what it's sound like. It's like I feel like people just went through it and they are like, man, this is how it is. So they want you to also experience it to affirm their belief that I didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
Instead of going through it and then teaching you how to avoid that situation. How to avoid that, and it's very, very discouraging because a lot of young people. I've been talking to a lot of people, and then they tell me pretty much the same thing, like discouragement. Even pastors. Like, even pastors.
Pastors say.
I mean,
these are the people y'all say you should go to counseling for. I'm just saying, all right.
That's what I'm saying.
You get me? Nah.
We already know that. Oh, you passed it.
Nah, I'm no wait, but she passed it, so
you
we passed
agree in
it.
polygamy?
Relax. Relax. I'm a big fan. Alright, I'm a big fan. Alright, I'm not a participant of it. I'm a big fan. I admire from the outside like that. That's cool.